let me tell you about this brand new offering that is coming out this week. I want to introduce you to the Astro Aligned Kitchen. Have you been really tired of starving yourself and cutting out entire food groups for like weeks or months at a time and trying to remember what is and is not allowed on whatever diet you're doing this week? Me too. I am so over the diet culture way of starving myself and not allowing myself to enjoy life because of whatever restrictive diet I'm on now, right? So when I found medical astrology and astronutrition, that literally changed my life. I learned my cosmic blueprint and exactly how my body is designed to use nutrients, which one it needs more of, and the best foods for my body. Best of all, I really learned how to properly nourish and fuel my body for the activities that I love to do, i.e., heavy weightlifting in the gym. So I had no more feeling faint at the gym because I haven't eaten since 6 p.m. the day before and skipped pre workout meal ahead of time because the diet says that working out on an empty stomach is better, right? No more feeling hungry all the time. No more guessing what was best or not for my body. And best of all, no more restrictive eating because fuck that. Your body is cosmically designed to function at its best when you align the nutrients that your metabolism needs to work optimally. And this is all determined by your Mars placement. So knowing where your Mars placement is in your natal chart helps you to understand what nutrients your body needs the most to function at its best. For example, my Mars placement is in Virgo, so I need a high protein intake as well as ensuring that I get plenty of fat soluble vitamins daily. And then, due to my Saturn in Scorpio, I also need to focus on more alkaline and fermented foods with plenty of fiber. So, when I started following this, right, and nourishing my body with nutrient dense whole foods, I started feeling better than I have in years. I was able to release 30 pounds in a year and I did not starve myself or work out at the gym until I literally passed out or felt like I was going to, right? I enjoyed life again because no foods were off limits. This meant I could eat pizza, ice cream, birthday cake, donuts, all of the carbs. And let me tell you, I did not miss one and I did not feel guilty while doing it. But what I really found was it was hard to nourish my body properly during this when my kitchen was still full of all of the foods that my body just didn't like as well as others. And so I started by cleaning it out and starting over fresh. And I've had so many clients over the last year ask me how I managed to keep on cooking nutrient dense foods for 3 meals a day when they were struggling and it seemed so hard. So, step number one is setting yourself up for success, right? And that is what Astro Kitchen is designed to do. In this one of a kind program, you will learn how to determine your cosmic blueprint, what that means in terms of your metabolism, and how to best nourish your body based on your design. And then, after all of that, we work through cleaning out your kitchen and setting it back up for success in nourishing your body with nutrient dense whole foods from now until forever. So, if you're hearing this and going, fuck yeah, how do I sign up? Scroll down to the show notes and click on the link. This will take you to the Astro Aligned Kitchen program. It is waiting for you, and I am super excited to have you join me in this one of a kind program. Let's kick diet culture to the curb forever. And I will see you inside the kitchen. My fellow seekers of the extraordinary, have you dared to venture into the dark side? If not, you're missing out on an exclusive experience like no other. Introducing The Dark Side, a members only subscription of the Alchemy, Astrology, and Astro Health podcast, where boundaries are pushed and nothing is off limits. Join your enigmatic host, Ire, as she takes you on a journey through taboo subjects, holistic health, the witchy and woo, social issues, spirituality, and so much more. So, what awaits you on the dark side? Let me tell you, exclusive podcast episodes, captivating guest speakers, live events, immersive video episodes, and a dash of mystery. And of course, yeah, we have cookies. The best part? It's just $4.99 a month. You'll unlock 4 extra episodes every month, plus exclusive access to live events throughout the year. That's a little over $1 per mind-expanding episode, and you'll be front and center for live events with Ire and intriguing guests. But wait, there's more. Your subscription also includes VIP access to a members-only section in the Astro Connection community. Connect with like-minded individuals and dive even deeper into the cosmic conversation. Do not miss this steal of a deal. Join Ire on the dark side today. For only $4.99 a month, you can be part of an exclusive community that explores the extraordinary. Are you ready to embark on this cosmic journey? Click the link in the show notes today to join. The dark side awakes. Come join us. Welcome to the Alchemy, Astrology, and Astro Health podcast. I'm Ira Atla, medical astrologist, astroherbalist, and green witch. I was diagnosed with endometriosis at 19, and I was told I would never have children. I healed my body through the power of herbs, alternative health practitioners, energy healing, and more. At 28, I had the baby they said I would never have, without any interventions. I refused to believe that my body was not able to heal itself. Along this journey, I stumbled across medical astrology, and it resonated with me so much. I started down the path to learning this unique system that had been used for thousands of years in the medical community. I now help other women heal their bodies using their cosmic blueprint, the unique blueprint that every person has embedded in their DNA from the stars. This system helps me see what's going on in your body on a cosmic level and exactly how to help you give your body what it needs to heal itself. We are all uniquely and amazingly designed, and when we learn to work with our design, love ourselves for how we are designed to function, and integrate the cosmos into our lives, I truly believe that we can see true and lasting health brought into our lives. If you are ready to change your life, heal your body, and learn to deeply love who you are, this podcast is for you. Come join me as I discuss medical astrology, astronutrition, astroherbalism, health, wellness, spirituality, transformation, and so much more. I'm so excited you are joining me. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Alchemy, Astrology, and Astro Health. I'm Ira, I'm your host, and I have a kind of different and special episode today. We will be getting back into the planets in the next few episodes, but this one was just really on my heart to talk about, so I'm bumping it up, and here we are. So every year, I see this on social media especially, and even in like email newsletters, and maybe you've seen the same, but there's like this huge push to have a word of the year, and everybody's like, oh my God, what's your word of the year? And it's like January 2nd. Like, how are we supposed to have figured out already what the word of the year is? And like, it's just too much for me. And then you have to like live by that word like all year, right? And I have just found for like years that this was just way too much for me, mainly because of like my ever-changing nature, but also just like every day I'm like, okay, what are we doing today? Who am I today? What's going on today? My energy is different. It flows in and out. And being like stuck to one word that I had to live by the entire year just felt like super restrictive to me, right? And like I was trapped and stuck. And it also just felt kind of superficial to me in a way, just not very authentic to me. I mean, it can be whatever it is to you, right? So I've never had one, mainly because like I'm never going to come up with one by January 2nd anyways. That's just not the way my energy works and my body works. I'm still 100% hibernating until like really in the last like couple of weeks of January, sometimes even into March, just depending on where we're at in the country. But like, when the sun comes out more, the nights are starting to get shorter, the daylight is starting to get longer again, and I'm finally getting some energy back. So that even if I came up with one, it's like really not going to happen the second we moved into the new year. And then, of course, because like I didn't pick one right away, then it's like, oh, well, I just can't pick a word now because we're already 2 or 3 months into the year, right? And so basically all of that just combined to me like never picking a word of the year and never really wanting to. This year, though, I was going over and planning my goals and things that I wanted to do for the year, setting my intentions, for 2024, that kind of stuff. And there's a part that I do every year where I pull out my cards, either my tarot deck or my oracle deck of some kind, and I do a reading for each month of the upcoming year in my business. So in each one, I will say, okay, for January, what do I need to know for January of 2024? What is the energy and intention and flow, and how is January going to go, basically? And then I do the same thing. What do I need to know for February of 2024? And usually I just pull like one card, but of course sometimes more comes out. So if more come out, then I'm going with that too. But I always pick at least one card to kind of give me like an overall view, maybe theme each month, kind of like how each month is going to go for the year. And it kind of just really helps me set my intentions for each month and how I want things to go, right? So this year I used my medicine card deck. These are my Native American Oracle card deck that goes over like all the kinds of spirit animals and the very important animals to many of the Native American tribes, how that looks for them, and the medicine that each one brings. And their medicine in this case doesn't mean like physical pharmaceutical medication, right? It's more like a spiritual kind of medicine. It's a medicine that actually, at least in the book that I have that came with the cards for the deck, uh, says here that it's more of a spiritual thing. So it says in the book here, um, it refers to anything that improves one's connection to the great mystery and to all of life. This would include the healing of body, mind, and of spirit. This medicine is also anything that brings personal power, strength, and understanding. It is the constant living of life in a way that brings healing to the Earth Mother and to all of our associates, families, friends, and fellow creatures. Native American medicine is an all-encompassing way of life, for it involves walking on the Earth Mother in perfect harmony with the universe. And I totally love that, right? And it really resonates with me. And this deck has been one of my favorite decks. It's called to me for years before I finally bought it, and I got it, and I love it. I am so glad that I listened when it was like screaming to pick it up. It's the one I'm most attuned to as well. So I did this for all the months for for 2024. And when I got done doing the months, I heard a voice tell me, and I'm pretty sure it was one of my spirit guides, but it might have been Hell or Freya. Let's be honest, they like to show up and tell me all kinds of things. But anyway, I heard someone tell me I needed to pick a word of the year, and I needed to pick a word from the deck. So the way this deck works is that each card that you pull has a picture of the animal on it, which is surrounded by what looks like a Native American dream catcher. And then it has a number that corresponds with that, so you can find it in the book. And then it has like a word or a phrase that corresponds with that animal, like their overarching medicine that they bring into your life, right? And so they were like, you need to pick a word for this year, and you need to pick it from the deck. And I'm like, what in the world? Like, I literally never pick a word, y'all, for the reasons I mentioned. And at this point, it was already like late January, early February, and I was like, I don't really want to pick a word, but I have learned over the years that ignoring that little voice in my head does not make it go away. It'll just make it louder, and it'll start annoying me even more until I listened to it. So I was like, okay, I will pick a word, right? So I shuffled the deck, shuffled through, did all my stuff that I normally do, pulled a card, and I pulled card number 39, which is the swan. And the word that corresponds with the swan in this deck is grace. And each one, when you get to their corresponding pages in the book, gives a little poem. And this is the poem that it said. Swan, the power of woman entering sacred space, touching future yet to come, bringing eternal grace. And I was like, okay, I can get down with that. And then I read what this animal medicine means and what this word means to the person who wrote this deck and to the tribe that they are a part of. And I was like, okay, this is perfect for this year. So I'm going to read. It has a little story that accompanies with it. So I'm going to read it here in a second. So there's two authors that wrote this book that are both Native Americans. So it's the first one is of Choctaw descent, and the second one is a mix of Cherokee and Seneca in her bloodline. And they are absolutely amazing writers. This book is awesome, and I love it. So this is the story that goes with it, and I think you too will see just how much this was like the perfect word for where I'm aiming my business to go this year. And I'm aiming for Atla Astrology and Twin Raven Naturals and Alchemy Astrology and Astro Health Podcast to go, right? All right. Little Swan flew through the dream time, looking for the future. She rested for a moment in the coolness of the pond, looking for a way to find the entry point to the future. This was a moment of confusion for Swan, as she knew that she had happened into the dream time by accident. This was her first flight alone, and she was a bit concerned by the Dreamtime landscape. As Swan looked high above Sacred Mountain, she saw the biggest swirling black hole she had ever seen. Dragonfly came by, and Swan stopped him to ask about the black hole. Dragonfly said, "Swan, that is the door place to the other planes of imagination. I have been guardian of the illusion for many, many moons. If you want to enter there, you would have to ask permission and earn the right." Swan was not so sure that she wanted to enter the black hole. She asked Dragonfly what was necessary for her to earn entry. Dragonfly replied, "You must be willing to accept whatever the future holds, as it is presented, without trying to change Great Spirit's plan." Swan looked at her little ugly duckling body and then answered, "I will be happy to abide by Great Spirit's plan. I won't fight the currents of the black hole. I will surrender to the flow of the spiral and trust what I am shown." Dragonfly was very happy with Swan's answer and began to spin the magic to break the pond's illusion. Suddenly, Swan was engulfed by a whirlpool in the center of the pond. Swan reappeared many days later, but now she was graceful and white and long-necked. Dragonfly was stunned. "Swan, what happened to you?" he exclaimed. Swan smiled and said, "Dragonfly, I learned to surrender my body to the power of Great Spirit and was taken to where the future lives. I saw many wonders high on Sacred Mountain, and because of my faith and my acceptance, I have been changed. I have learned to accept the state of grace." Dragonfly was very happy for Swan. Swan told Dragonfly many of the wonders beyond the illusion. Through her healing and her acceptance of the state of grace, she was given the right to enter the Dreamtime. So it is that we learn to surrender to the grace of the rhythm of the universe and slip from our physical bodies into the Dreamtime. Swan medicine teaches us to be at one with all planes of consciousness and to trust in Great Spirit's protection. If you pulled Swan, it ushers in a time of altered states of awareness and of development of your intuitive abilities. Swan medicine people have the ability to see the future, to surrender to the power of Great Spirit, and to accept the healing and transformation of their lives. The Swan card is telling you to accept your ability to know what lies ahead. If you are resisting your self transformation, relax. It will be easier if you go with the flow. Stop denying that you know who was calling when the phone rings. Pay attention to your hunches and your gut knowledge, and honor your female intuitive side. I don't know about you, but like I got literal goosebumps when I first read that, and I still have literal goosebumps now. Like it is literally perfect. Like it was absolutely perfect because that is what my entire kind of thing was last year, was surrendering to what knew and like instinctually what the universe wanted for me to do with Atlas astrology. It wanted me to change the name. It wanted me to move forward in this realm. It wanted me to really put myself out there saying that, I do medical astrology. I am a medical astrologist. This is how I work with people, instead of doing it in the background and not acknowledging it and going more as like I was like a health coach and a herbalist, right? And I still am those two things, but it wanted me to pull that medical astrology to the forefront and like go with that, right? And I decided to not fight it, to go with the flow, to go with where my intuition and my spirit guides were leading, and it has literally been fucking amazing. I can't tell you how awesome the last few months of 2023 were, and how awesome it has been now in just the first few months of 2024. And so this is just, yeah, an amazing word for me. And it feels easy for me because, like I said, I'm very like transformative. I'm very transmutable. I am, every day I wake up and you may get a different side of me today than you had yesterday, and then tomorrow will be something even different. Like I'm not just one continuous person and personality type and anything like that. I'm different every day, and that's okay. That's how my energy is designed to be, right? And I really, really feel the energies around me and of my surroundings and where I'm at. And so if where I'm at has negative energy, not so great energy, just something off, I really pick up on that and it affects my mood and how I present myself that day, right? I can tend toward more like introversion at that point. And I am actually, despite what most people think, and you probably also think this because you listen to the podcast and I'm super chatty on here, that I'm like super extroverted. And honestly, I'm really not. I'm actually really introverted and I much prefer to be introverted and off in my own little world. But every once in a while, depending again on what's going on and the energy around me, that I feel the desire to be more extroverted and pop into spaces. So that's been interesting. And so that was I don't know, like it was such a good word. It and it makes it seem easy to follow. Like it doesn't feel like I'm stuck or trapped with that word and having to, align everything to it. Like it feels like there's a lot of ebb and flow in that definition here of grace. And so someone asked me the other day on a Facebook post because I forget what they asked. They asked something and I wish I could remember what it was, but they asked something about like your business and your life or maybe just your life. And I mentioned something about uh, I was really working on, you know, bringing more grace into my life, to myself and to my clients and all of that. And they asked me, what does grace mean to you? And this is what it means. It means allowing for the flow of how things go, not being upset when things don't go to plan, being flexible, flowing with that, understanding that just because this is what I want, it doesn't mean that that's what the universe wants for me or what my spirit guides want for me or where the spirit guides for Atlas astrology want me to be. And that's not necessarily the plan, right? My plan is not necessarily like the master plan of how things should be going. And so just really embracing that ebb and flow and giving myself the space to flow in that space and how things go, and then extending that out to my clients as well. Because, shit happens. I mean, as an example, I did a medical astrology reading for someone the other day, sent it out, and they messaged me back and said, "Oh my God, I am so sorry. Like, I put the wrong birth year down and it was like a complete accident. I didn't realize that I typed it in wrong." And I mean, it was like a complete year off. So everything in the chart was like 100% incorrect, right? Because it's not going to be correct. And she's like, "I am so sorry. You're going to have to do that all over again because that's none of that's right." And I was like, and I could have gotten mad. I could have gotten really pissed off. I could have told them off. I could have refunded their money and just said, "Fuck it. I'm not doing another one," because they do. They take a lot of my time and a lot of my energy, and they require a lot of my energy because I tap into my spirit guides and I tap into the universe and my intuition. And sometimes I will even tap into their energy to determine if I'm on the right path of what I'm seeing and make sure that it's definitely the direction I'm supposed to be going with this reading, right? And so it's exhausting. They take me a while to do, and then I record them as videos, and my videos are anywhere from an hour to 2 hours long. And this one was closer to like an hour and a half. And I could have gotten pissed. I could have screamed and yelled or thrown in the towel or been all kinds of things, right? And maybe rightfully so for any of those reactions. Maybe. But instead, I was like, you know what? Shit happens, and it's okay. I will redo it. Unfortunately, I have some others that have now come in front of you. Come. I got yours done, but now others have shown up. So I'm gonna have to do theirs first, but I will redo yours, right? And You know, the response to that was, "Oh my god, thank you. Thank you for being so kind and understanding. I've been beating myself up since I realized it." She's like, "And I just knew that your response was gonna be terrible." She's like, "And it's not. It's been kind, and I really appreciate that." And that's what it means to me, that word grace, to extend grace, to just go with the flow and realize that, you know what, anybody, including myself, could have made that mistake, transposed numbers, accidentally fat fingered, the wrong year. I mean, it happens, you know? It was literally like it was supposed to be like 85 or something and it was 86, right? Like it was the number right next to it. And I know that if you're filling out my forms for these on like a phone, it's really easy to fat finger the numbers and accidentally wind up with, you know, a wrong number in there somewhere. It happens. But that's what that means to me. Is just extending that ability to flow, to surrender to the things that are beyond my control and extend that to my clients as well. Because in extending that to them, they not only see me doing it and modeling it, but then it gives them the ability to extend that to themselves and not beat themselves up about making genuine mistakes because literally I'm right, shit happens, right? And then in turn, because it doesn't deregulate their nervous systems because I haven't screamed or yelled or called them names or anything, they can then extend that calm, that peace, that grace to other people in their lives, their children, their spouses, their partners, their coworkers, their moms and dads and siblings, right? And when we do this, when we accept that kind of stuff and we go with the flow and we accept what we cannot control and we're not assholes about things, and we extend it to other people and then that causes them to extend it to other people, that's literally how things change, right? This is how we ultimately change the world. It's best for the collective to live a life full of grace. And you know, at first, when I pulled that word, I was like, oh my God, because I grew up, y'all know, in a cult, a Christian cult that uses the word grace a lot, but they don't use it in that type of meaning. It's more of like, "Oh, by the grace of God, I'm saved from my sins." And what they mean it as in that way is like the grace of this deity is just if it wasn't for them, I would be this evil, awful sinner that was lost in, going to hell. And it's just by some random, mercy of this deity just deciding to be slightly nice to me that I'm not. And their definition of grace was so different, so, like, out there, so skewed. It was always like someone's extending grace to you was like an imposition for them, but they were doing it anyways. Like, it never made you feel like it was a good thing, right? When they talked about extending grace to someone, it was done in a manner that was, like, begrudging, like, okay, well, here, I'm gonna be nice to you, but not because I want to or it's the right thing to do, but, uh, this is what, this religion says that I have to do, and so I'm doing it. And it never felt peaceful, it never felt calm, it didn't feel kind. It literally felt like it came with strings attached. And so when I got that word, I was like, okay, universe, what are we trying to tell me? Because this word is a bit triggering for me, and I didn't realize it until I pulled it right as like the word of the year. And I started feeling all of those like shameful feelings coming up, and like I'm in the wrong, but this person is just being, kind to me because their deity says so. And it brought up so many of those feelings of worthlessness that I felt growing up. And then I read the description in there and I was like, "Oh my god, this has nothing to do with, like, the grace that I knew growing up." It's not even close to the type of thing that I knew growing up, right? And it made a huge difference in how I looked at it. And I'm like, okay, yeah, let's pick this for the word of the year and let's do it, right? And here it is yet again, another layer of healing that I didn't realize that even needed healing, because healing's not linear. It's not like you get on the path of healing and you stay on that path. There's tons of rabbit trails, side quests, if you will, that you have to go and do along the way to get to that healing, right? That you're looking for, that ultimate like goal that you're going for. And so here it was, yet again, a little side quest that I needed to do that I didn't even realize that I needed to do. And so picking this word, using it with this definition, this meaning, and extending grace to the people around me in this way, where I am doing it because that is just what I want to do. It's who I am. It's me surrendering to whatever is coming up in my life, the universe's ultimate plan, instead of it feeling icky and gross, like, oh, well, I'm doing this thing for you because God says I have to. It didn't feel that way, and it doesn't feel that way now. It's been healing. So, yeah, it's been very healing. And it's been making me feel so different. And then, just on a quick little side note, the card I pulled for February was actually number 40, so the one right after this card on Grace, which is the dolphin, and mana, however you want to say it, which stands for like life force. And here's what the card actually means, is the brief description that I wrote down for how like February was going to go. So it says, you are a link to some solution for the children of Earth, a link to Great Spirit to answer questions. Be mindful of your body rhythms and patterns of energy. So at the beginning of each month, I sit and I read what the thing was, and I set my intentions for that month. And my intentions that I set basically at the end of January, beginning of February, was to be that solution in some way for the children of Earth. And today, the last day of February, on a leap year day, that I did that. I released my Astro Aligned Kitchen program out into the world, and it's had a huge response, which has been amazing. Thank you for anybody listening who joined. I really appreciate you and trusting me with everything that comes with that. And I released that, and I released my new book. It actually was closer to 50 pages, and then I realized that that was just like a lot. It was super overwhelming. My Mercury in Scorpio likes to really dive deep, but unfortunately, not everybody else can handle that or wants all of that at once. So I cut it down, and I actually took the part that I cut out, made it into its own little book. It's like 15 or 20 pages, somewhere in there. Got that astro hormone balance through astro nutrition guide slash workbook slash manual down to 35 pages, and then took that like 15-20 pages that I took out, turned it into its own book, and then put that into the Astro Aligned Kitchen program as one of the extra resources. So you still get it. So if you download the hormone balance through astro nutrition, there we go, guide. For some reason I cannot fucking say that. I might need to change the name of the book just so I can remember how to say it without tripping over my own tongue. Anyways, if you download that, there is a link in there to join the Astro Aligned Kitchen program, and then you will get the rest of the book too. The Astro Aligned Kitchen program is only $9, so it's really a no-brainer to go join it. So do the guide first, join the Astro Aligned Kitchen program to help kind of mix those things all together, right? And really help you seal the deal with what you learned in the book. Get that 15, 20 pages, I forget which one it is, extra piece of the guide that you were missing, and we'll go from there, right? And see what that leads to. And I would absolutely love if you would let me know how you like that new guide, how it's working for you. And I guess if you join the program, I'll be able to talk to you too. And so we'll be able to chat more and about that. And that would be wonderful. There is, with that program, there's 13 modules. There is 2 bonus modules. Of those 13, 2 of them are bonus modules. One of those 13 is just a like a list of and extra PDFs of like resources and all kinds of things. And one of them is that um, 15 to 20 pages that I cut out. That's an in-depth look at all of the vitamins and minerals. And then there's a moon transits cheat sheet. There's a um, senses cheat sheet. There is like so much. It's a whole like I don't know, like 30-page workbook that goes with it too. So like it is a hell of a lot of information, value packed, filled with things that literally will help change your life because like the entire program is designed to help you figure out how your metabolism is designed to work for your body and your design so that you stop shaming yourself for the fact that like you're not losing weight as fast as you would like, or you're not gaining weight if that's what you would like, or you feel stuck or plateaued, or you're feeling shame about the body that you are in. And this program is designed to kick all of that diet culture shit to the curb and make you love the body that you have and then learn to work with the body that you have in a way that works best for your body to nourish and fuel it for doing all the things you love to do, right? And it's not about a diet. It's not about eating a certain way. It's no restriction, anything. It's not a diet culture thing. It's really not. It is literally just a program designed to help you love your body and then work with that body so that you can do all the things that you love to do without struggling, without hating yourself along the way, without shaming yourself into whatever. You're never going to shame yourself into the body that you want. You're never going to hate yourself into the body that you want. You only get a body you love by loving the body you have. And that's what I designed that program for, is to help you love the body that you have. It's taken me years to get there myself, y'all, like years. I struggled with an eating disorder for most of my teenage years into my early 20s. I was literally starving myself most of the time. And then, of course, being pissed that I couldn't do cheerleading as well as I wanted. And my volleyball game was going into the toilet and, right? All the activities that I like doing, I could not do. All of the things that I wanted to do in life, I could not do. And I hated my body. I hated everything about me. And it's taken me years to love myself. And learning medical astrology, learn how my body was designed, learning how my metabolism is designed, and working with that metabolism instead of trying to fucking murder it by starving to death, literally changed my life. And so I love the body that I have now. I love it for everything that it does for me, and I love the fact that I can do what I want now without struggling. I love to lift heavy at the gym. I mean, like heavy, heavy. Like the other day, I was doing squats in the gym, and I was squatting 165 pounds, and that was just because I didn't want to go any heavier that day. But I was able to do like 15, 20 reps without struggling. I've been bench pressing lately too because I've never really been a bench presser. I always more into the leg side of things. I have very strong legs, and so it's always more fun to do that stuff because I don't struggle with it as much. But that last year and into this year, I decided to challenge myself with the fact that I was going to also make my upper body stronger and not struggle. And to do so, I had to struggle to begin with, right? But I've been doing that, and I've been able to do that because I've been feeling my body better based on, like, my cosmic design, and I am rocking it out, like literally rocking it out. I have been doing so much better with that. I've been doing overhead presses as well, which sometimes called like a military press. It's literally where you take the barbell and you lift it straight above your head. This takes a lot of core strength. It takes a lot of shoulder and arm strength and a lot of like upper body in general strength, back strength. And it's an area I've always struggled with, right? And so I was like, no, I'm going to fucking do this. And I have. And so I've been meeting these goals that I never would have made before because I just wasn't giving my body what it needed. And so that's something else that I'm learning too with that grace, right? Is like learning to just go with the flow and give myself grace if I don't hit that goal that I wanted or I fuck it up or whatever. And it's okay. Like it's literally okay. I will get it the next time. I will do whatever, right? And so that has been helpful too. It has really helped me in so many areas of my life to have this as like my word of the year and to get a definition that I resonate with so much more than the one that I grew up with. Okay. I think that's everything that I really wanted to say. I just wanted to talk to you guys about that because, well, you're my peeps and I like talking to you about this kind of stuff. So that definitely works for the word for the year for me. And I would love to hear your word of the year. So you can come join the Astro Connection community and come tell me in there. You can find me on Instagram or Facebook and DM me or comment in one of my posts what your word of the year is. You can email me at info@atlasastrology.com or you can come join the Astro Aligned Kitchen group program because that has a private group attached to it that you can post in as well. And you can come talk to me in there and you can tell me your word of the year. And we can work together on getting your love of your body and extending yourself grace fixed, right? And giving yourself all of that. We can work on that together because that is literally my jam. And the thing that I am really good at is being a guide, giving you the steps that you need to take, and then cheering you on along the way, right? That is literally what I am here for. So, yeah, I think that is it. We have some amazing episodes coming up. I got quite a list of people that I've recorded with for guests. If you haven't already, come join the podcast subscription side because that is there's a series coming out there that you're not going to want to miss, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So, yeah, I will see you guys there. All right, love and light. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Alchemy, Astrology, and Astro Health. I hope you enjoyed today's episode as much as I enjoyed making it. You can find all relevant links to today's show in the show notes below. If you loved the show today, please subscribe, follow, and leave me a review. I love to hear your thoughts and it helps me know what is a hit and to make more of that content, especially for you. If you want to learn more about me and how I can help you, head over to atlasastrology.com. There you can sign up for a medical astrology package, download my free sun sign and your health ebook, read the blog, and so much more. If you want to connect more outside the podcast, follow my Instagram channel @AtlaAstrology or join my Astro Connection community, the link to which you can find in the show notes. Until next time, love and light.